Assalamualaikum WR.WB. We are from Group 1. We will deliver about techniques of using visual and audio materials. And the first presenter is me. My name is Samsinar and my student number is 56. And I will deliver about techniques of using visual materials. In communication, we use visual as the source that helps us in interact with others, and especially in teaching and learning processes. And techniques based on visual and visualization are useful for stimulus and the main source in language learning. And we as the teacher, we can find many visual materials for assisting us in teaching English. And these are the types of visual that can be used in teaching English or teaching processes. The first one is board. There are many kinds of boards that can be used in aesthetic and interactive way at the same time, such as blackboard, whiteboard, flannel board, and flip chart. And various forms of text, table, and image can help students use them cooperatively with their partners or their other students, and then interactively with the teacher. It is like what we use at the class when we face with the new vocabulary and we don't know how to spell it. We ask to the teacher to write it on the whiteboard or blackboard. Next is printed materials. Printed materials could be textbooks, workbooks, and dictionaries. And the teacher may use any printed materials that consist right contents to get target language. And also the teachers can provide printed materials like magazines, comics to keep student interesting. And then flashcard. Flashcard can be in the form of picture combined with words, phrases, and sentences in particular target language specific data. And the data can be dates, place, events, people, name of important peoples, and so on. And next is projector. All of us know the function of projector in learning and teaching processes. We usually use it to deliver our materials like PPT, image, or video. And we can imagine when our friends deliver their materials without projector, we will get confused about what they are talking about. Next is diorama. Diorama may contain models of places, events, and various situations that can give resourceful stimulus for students, especially in the functional-oriented language learning context. And the value of diorama in language teaching is that they present a visual stimulus in 3 dimensions. And the language teaching procedure with diorama can include the production of stage as well as the stage of utilization of the complex impression and input offered. And the last one is realia. Realia are objects that represent the target language culture, like helmet, packages, boxes, containers of goods, and objects of universal use like shopping basket, toy telephones, and so on. And based on the 3-stage principle, there are some activities that can be conducted with the use of visual media. The first one is exploration stage, activities before looking at the visual. The activities are guessing. Before looking to the visual, the students can be guided to guess the topic of the picture based on some keywords or utterances or some text related to the picture. And the second one is prediction. Same with guessing, students allowed to predict the topic before looking to the picture. And I think that's all from me, and the next material will be delivered by my friends.
Okay, in this occasion, I will continue the explanation about using visual material in teaching, especially in teaching English. And this still about the three principles that can used by the teacher while using visual material in teaching. About the first stage, which is exploration stage, already explained by my friend before, and I will continue about the second stage, and the second stage is elaboration stage. Elaboration stage is some activities that can give by the teacher to the student while the student watching a movie or watching the video or see the picture that can show by the teacher in front of class. And this is some activities that can give by the teacher to the student. The first activities is collecting words and phrase related to the picture or to the movie. The second activities is elaborating vocabulary and perhapsing and matching. Matching is matching picture and the sentence, and the labeling picture and multiple choice exercise, collecting piece of information, gap filling, completing the text, and sequencing, answering question, and choosing true or false. And the third stage is confirmation stage. Confirmation stage is exercise that can give by the teacher to the student are done as a follow-up action. And the exercise or activity is the first discussion, second is storytelling, and the third is acting, and the fourth is writing an article or report, the fifth is writing advertisement, and the sixth is drawing pictures, and the seventh is illustrating, and the eighth is creating maps, plan, chart, or diagram.
Techniques of using audio materials. So, besides using visual, the teacher is able to teach students by using audio. Where here, we demand the student is able to use the listening skill. At the time, when if we only to read the book, it can make your student feel bored. So, in here, the teacher can do audio techniques in learning. In this part, I want to say that the teacher can start from the text or statement and assign the student to make audio record as a project. For example, first, news report. The teacher can provide a text on hot news, and then the student assigns to read the news as a reporter of radio broadcast or like a newscasting. Second, lecturing. The students are assigned to be a teacher who is giving lecture and being recorded. The lecture is about a topic or the procedure make of a something. The last is create and singing song lyric. The teacher can provide the instrumental music or karaoke, and then the students are assigned to create the lyric of the music, and then they can to sing the song and record it.
Guys, in the next material delivered by me, there are further three categories to be mentioned that range between these two extreme ones. Some publishers produce teaching materials that are developed from authentic radio broadcasts, accompanied by teachers' books and workbooks to help teachers and learners downgrade the message conveyed by unstructured language. So the first is when visiting target language countries and or meeting people represented the target language cultures. One can record interviews or other genres of audio production to use with learners. When making resources of this kind, one has particular classroom needs and students in mind. The second is about national radios and publishers of educational materials often produce recordings for schools in their own countries. Audio recordings to contribute to teaching any subject area in schools in the target language country are script and record bearing the subject-specific didactic principles in mind, but they do not pay much attention to structuring and grading the language. These educational authentic resources can promote cross-curricular language education with much success. Whatever type of audio recording one uses, there is a great number of techniques to apply in order to make an active use of them. The process of applying audio materials for receptive purposes. The next is about the process of applying audio materials for receptive purposes. This is the have two types of audio materials is exploration stage and elaboration stage. Exploration stage is activities before listening to the audio materials. The exploration stage have two types is guessing and predictions. Guessing is before listening to the audio materials, the students can be guided to guess the topic of the materials based on some keywords or utterances, some text related to the materials, some sounds or music or limited impressions, such as the students listen only some part of the radio materials. So the second is prediction. Before listening to the audio materials, the students can be guided to make a prediction on the rest of the record based on some keywords or utterances, some text related to the materials, some sounds or music or limited impressions, such as the students listen only some part of the audio materials. Okay, the second about elaboration stage. Elaboration stage is activities done while listening to the audio record. Elaboration stage have 13 activities that can be done. The first is collecting words and phrases related to the audio record. The teacher can guide the students to collect the words, phrases, or expressions that reflect the audio record. The second is elaborating vocabulary. This activity can be done by the use of dictionary. Teacher can also provide some terms for stimulating the students. The third is paraphrasing. The students can work in pairs or in group. They paraphrase the sentence or expression by the assistance of the teacher. This activity can improve the students' ability to use various types of sentences. The fourth is matching. This activity is done by matching the pictures with the words, the data, the events, and the parts of text based on audio record. The next is labeling the picture. The students can label the picture with the words, phrases, sentences, or data based on the audio record. The students create their own label. This labeling can be done in pair or in group. The teacher can guide the students to the labeling. The next is multiple choice exercises. Teacher can provide the multiple choice quiz based on the audio record. Students not only choose the correct answer but also give reason to their answer. Next, collecting pieces of information.
Okay, now I will to continue the explanations, and the next is collecting a piece of information. So the student can collect information drawn from the audio and then they combine those piece of information into integrated and then meaningful compositions. And the next is gap filling. So the teacher provide a text with the gaps, and then the text is related to the audio record, and then by listening to the audio, the student find the words or phrases to fill the gap. And then the next is completions of text. So the teacher provide incomplete text, and then the student listens the audio and then complete the text based on the audio they listens. And the next is sequencing. So based on the audio, the students are supposed to compose the words, phrase, or information in sequence, and then it can be chronological events or procedural steps or classified parts. And the next is answering questions. So the student should answer the questions based on the audio, and then the questions may be yes or no or WH questions. And the next is choosing true or false. Provide with some statements. The students should state whether the statements are true or false, and then they give the reasons for the answer. And the next is filling in chart or tables, and the students should fill the chart or tables, and then based on the audio record the lessons before. And the next material is confirmation stage. So in this stage, the student do not necessarily to hear the audio. And then the following are some activities that can be done during confirmation stage. The first one is discussion. So issue discussions are raised up from the audio record. And the second one is storytelling. So after the student understand the audio record and then have sufficient vocabulary terms, they are guided to create and act out of story. And the next is writing drama script. So based on the audio, the teacher can assign the students to write a drama script to be performed in class. And the next is acting. So the teacher can ask the student to do role plays, simulations, drama, and or producing film based on the pictures. And the next is writing a letter. And then based on the audio, the teacher can assign the student to write a letter to friends or parents. And the next is writing an article or report. And then based on the audio, the teacher can assign the student to write a report for a newspaper or magazines. And the next is posting or commenting on weblog. Based on the audio, the teacher can assign the student to write a comment or post on a collaborative weblog. And the next is creating comics. Based on the audio, the teacher can assign the students to make comic, and then the teacher can provide the pictures based on the audio record, and the student can add call out on the pictures. And the last one is writing advertisements. Based on the audio, the teacher can assign the student to make an advertisement. So I think that's all about my material, and thank you very much.